Welcome to the new book releases for the week of January 22nd. I'm Morgan. If you haven't been here before, we're going to have timestamps per genre for you to click around in. And let's go ahead and get started. First up, I'm going to mispronounce things, authors' names, characters' names, real people, like in real world names, things too. So I'm very sorry, but we'll just have to move past that. First genre is going to be sci-fi this week, and we have Extraordia by Seth Dickinson. Anna Sinjaria, refugee, survivor of genocide, disaffected office worker, has a close encounter that reveals universe-threatening stakes. Enter Sren, a many-headed serpent alien who is on the run from her own past. Sren and Anna are inexorably, dangerously drawn to each other, and their contact reveals universe-threatening stakes. While humanity reels from disaster, Anna must join a small team of civilians, soldiers, and scientists to investigate a mysterious broadcast and unknowable horror. If they can manage to face their own demons, they just might save the world. Next up, we have Womb City by an author whose name I really don't want to butcher and offend. I think the last name is Samas. Neela seems to have it all: fame, wealth, and a long-awaited daughter growing in a government lab. But trapped in a loveless marriage to a policeman who uses a microchip to monitor her every move, Neela's perfect life is precarious. After a drug-fueled evening culminates in an eerie car accident, Neela commits a desperate crime and buries the body, daring to hope that she can keep one last secret. The truth claws its way into Neela's life from the grave. As the ghost of her victim viciously hunts down the people Neela holds dear, she is thrust into a race against the clock. In order to save her remaining loved ones, Neela must unravel the political conspiracy her victim was on the verge of exposing, or risk losing everyone. It's set in a cruel, futuristic surveillance state where bodies are government-issued resource. This harrowing story is a twisting, nail-biting commentary on power, monstrosity, and bodily autonomy. Then we're going to move into fantasy with Feybound by Sarah L. Arifi. Euron was born on the battlefield, has lived on the battlefield, and one day she knows she'll die on the battlefield. As a warrior in the Elven army, Euron has known nothing but violence her whole life. Her sister, Lidl, is trying to make a living as a diviner, seeking prophecies of a better future. When a fatal mistake leads to Euron's exile from the Elven lands, both sisters are forced into the terrifying wilderness beyond their borders. There, they encounter the impossible, the Fey court. The Fey haven't been seen for a millennium, but now Euron and Lidl are thrust into their seductive world, torn among their loyalties to each other, their Elven homeland, and their hearts. Then we move into YA fantasy with Destroy the Day by Bridget Kimmerer. This is the conclusion to the Defy the Night trilogy. When I first heard about it, I think I'd heard that it was like a Robin Hood spinning, but this is the description for the first one. A desperate prince, a daring outlaw, a dangerous flirtation. In the wilds of Kandala, apothecary apprentice Tessa Cade has been watching people suffer for too long. A mysterious sickness is ravaging the land, and the cure, Moonflower Elixir, is only available for the wealthy. So every night, she defies the royal edicts and sneaks out, stealing moonflower petals and leaving the elixir for those in need. In the palace of Kandala, Prince Korik serves as the king's justice, meting out vicious punishments and striking fear into the hearts of agitators and outlaws. Korik knows he must play this role convincingly. With a shortage of elixir and threats of rebellion looming ever closer, the king's grip on power is tenuous at best, and Cormac knows his brother is the kingdom's best hope for survival. But when an act of unspeakable cruelty brings the royal and outlaw face to face, the natural enemies are faced with an impossible choice and a surprising spark. Will they follow their instincts to destroy each other, or will they save the kingdom together and let that spark ignite? And then we move into Romantasy. I do believe it's classified as Romantasy. It's the Everqueen, book 2 in the Everseas trilogy. The first book was the Everking. For years, Eric, the scarred king of the Ever Kingdom, has thought of nothing but vengeance against the man who killed his father and trapped him beneath the waves, making him a prisoner in his own realm, until his enemy's daughter unintentionally breaks the chains on the Ever, and Eric makes her the unwitting pawn in his vicious game of revenge. She's innocent, he's vicious, but he will take back what he lost, no matter the price, unless she steals his heart first. It is supposed to be something about pirates and fae colliding with Vikings and romance between the villain and an innocent princess. And then we have Arrive by Megan Sienna Doddridge. This is the first in the Conduit series, and I'm really not sure if it should be here in the Romantasy or in romance, so we're just going to stick it between the two. And yeah, it is an urban fantasy with romance. On my way to investigate my aunt's untimely death, I chance upon a teenager with purple eyes. Her destiny is so vibrant, so entwined with the essence that fuels all our lives, that I cannot stand to see her caged and crushed. What I don't know is that rescuing the teen isn't a chance or happenstance at all. It isn't just another random bit of destiny I can fix. It's a snag in the weave of the universe that unravels everything. I'm exactly who I'm meant to be. I belong to no one but the universe. My destiny was spun and measured before I was born. I never really had a choice, but the path that brought me to becoming the conduit at least a century before my time has been manipulated. And along the way, I've somehow lost far more than I ever knew I had. Friends, lovers, soul-bound mates. More than just my life has been twisted, all of our fates ripped away. And I remember none of it. It does mention that there are content warnings listed at the beginning of the book and on the author's website, and when I look it up, they do look pretty normal type of content for this type of books. Violence, language, abuse, trafficking. Let's move on into regular romance with a book maybe loosely inspired for Swifties. This is The Breakup Tour by Emily Wimberly and Austin Stegman Borka. Riley Wynn went from promising singer-songwriter to a superstar overnight, thanks to her breakup song concept album and its unforgettable lead single. When Riley's ex-husband claims that the hit song is about him, she does something she hasn't in 10 years and calls Max Harcut her college boyfriend and the real inspiration for the song of the summer. Max hasn't spoken to Riley since their relationship ended. He's content with managing the retirement home his family owns, but it's not the life filled with music he dreamed of. When Riley asked him to go public as her songwriting muse, he agrees in one condition: he'll join her band on tour. As they perform across the country, Max and Riley start to realize that while they hit some wrong notes in the past, their future could hold incredible things, and their rekindled relationship will either last forever or go down in flames. Let's move on, though, into mystery with The Busybody by Kemper Donovan. It's the dream assignment. Former Secretary Dorothy Gibson, aka That Woman, is the most talked about person in the country right now, though largely for the wrong reasons. As an independent candidate for President of the United States, Dorothy split the vote and is being blamed for the shocking result. After her very public defeat, she's retreated to her home in rural Maine, inviting her ghostwriter to join her. Her collaborator is impressed by Dorothy's work ethic and steel-trap mind, not to mention the stunning surroundings and one particularly gorgeous bodyguard. But when a neighbor dies under suspicious circumstances, Dorothy is determined to find the killer in their midst. And when Dorothy Gibson asks if you want to team up for a top-secret, possibly dangerous murder investigation, the only answer is, of course. The best ghostwriters are adept at asking questions and spinning stories. Two talents, it turns out, that also come in handy for sleuths. Dorothy's political career, meanwhile, has made her an expert at recognizing lies and double-dealing. Working together, the two women are soon untangling motives and whittling down suspects to the exasperation of local police. But this investigation, much like the election, may not unfold the way anyone expects. So it just sounds like a fun time. For fiction books, we have The Friendship Club by Robin Carr. Celebrity cooking show host Marnie McGuire has seen it all. She's been married twice and widowed and divorced. Now in her mid-50s, she's single, happily so. She just needs to convince her pregnant daughter Bella of this fact. And maybe convince herself too. Especially after Marnie's efforts to humor her determined daughter result in a series of disastrous dates that somehow prompt Marnie to wonder if maybe the right man for her is still out there after all. Similarly single, Marnie's best friend and colleague is confident she's content without a man. But both older women soon find themselves leading by example as the young intern of their show appears to be caught in a toxic relationship. And Bella reveals her own marriage maybe isn't built to withstand the stresses of a baby on the way. And our last book is Family by Lori Frankel. India Allwood grew up wanting to be an actor. Armed with a stack of index cards for research, line memorization, makeshift confetti, she goes from awkward 16-year-old to Broadway Ingene to TV superhero. Her new movie is a prestige picture about adoption, but it's spin on the same old story of tragedy. India is an adoptive mom in real life, though. She wants everyone to know there's more to her family than pain and regret. So she does something you should never do. She tells a journalist the truth. It's a bad movie. Soon she's at the center of a media storm, battling accusations from the press and paparazzi, from protesters on the right and advocates on the left. Her twin 10-year-olds know they need help, and who better to call than family? But that's where things get really messy, because India is not just an adoptive mother. The one thing she knows for sure is what makes family isn't blood, and it isn't love. No matter how they're formed, the truth about family is, it's complicated. That's all for our list this week. Maybe you found something new and exciting to add to the TBR, or that a secondary or conclusion of a current series is coming out. If you enjoyed this video, though, consider subscribing so you can come back every week for more books to add to your TBR and review videos and bookish talking things. I hope you're finding something awesome to read today, and I'll see y'all in the next one.